Hey, I'm Jeff Nelson. I'm a realtor with IXL Real Estate Eastern Shore, and welcome to Daphne, Alabama. I get calls and texts and emails all the time about people wanting to move to Lower Alabama, and Daphne is definitely on people's radar. It's a picturesque city that's located on the eastern shore of Mobile Bay, and it's known for its vibrant community. It has a small town charm to it, and man, it has just a ton of natural beauty, as you can see. As I said, I'm going to get into parks later, but I'm sitting in one right now. But I don't want to ruin it for the rest of the video. But anyway, if you're thinking about moving to Daphne and you want to figure out what makes this place so special, stick around with me because I'm going to dive into what makes this such a great place to live. Daphne, Alabama. Let's check it out. So if it sounds like it's raining, it is raining. It is pouring, falling like cats and dogs outside. So if you hear that, that's what it is. All right, so if you're new to Daphne, you've never been here before, or you've just been here once or twice, whatever the case may be, this section is going to be all about getting around town and what's it look like? How does it feel getting around town? Now, with that being said, the city of Daphne is only about 19 square miles. So it's not huge so far as the geographical footprint. The last census was taken in 2022. Right now, I'm doing this in July of 2024. So it was like 2 years ago, the last census was taken, and at that time, the population was 29,670 people. All right, so that's 2 years ago. I am sure at the rate that Daphne is growing right now that we are well above 30,000 in population. So that being said, yes, we have traffic. No, it's not horrible. You know, you're not going to see anything like being in a town, city like Atlanta or Houston or Dallas or wherever the case may be, where there's just hundreds of thousands of people or a million people. So we have traffic. It's not terrible, but it's there, especially during the summer when people are making their way to the beach from all over the country. So what's very convenient about Daphne's, where its location is that as you can see, the interstate comes right from Mobile, comes across Mobile Bay, and enters into Daphne. So it's very convenient. If you live in Daphne, you can even work in Mobile. So this is what we call, this Interstate 10, this is what we call the Bayway. And from Daphne, from that point where the interstate hits Daphne, from that point to Mobile is 9.9 miles, so 10 miles, and it takes 13 minutes to get over there to Mobile, to give you an idea of how far that bridge is. So it's not far at all, 13 minutes. To give you another idea just about our location, if you go east on I-10, Pensacola, Florida is 49.4 miles away, and that's going to take you about 46 minutes. All right, and then going south, we have our beautiful Gulf Shores and Orange Beach. So from Daphne, you can be in Gulf Shores in just over an hour. It's 36.5 miles. And it's 1 hour and 4 minutes, it says, that it'll take you to get there. So you're taking some back roads, you're not taking interstate to the Gulf Shores. You know, you're taking highways and byways to get down there, but it's 55 miles an hour, it's not 70. So, but one thing that's great about Daphne is that it's very simple to get around within the city itself. All the roads primarily are north and south and east and west roads. It's a grid system of north and south and east and west. And so it's very easy to get around. We do have some major highways that go through. We call them major, but Highway 98 is going to go from the interstate all the way down, going south towards Gulf Shores in a roundabout way. And then 181 is another highway that's going to go north and south. Those are 45 and 50 mile an hour highways. So anyway, it's very easy to commute if you're if you're headed to Mobile, if you want to go over there and visit. Personally, I don't go over there very much at all. I stay right over here in Baldwin County, but it is, if you're getting around town, it's very easy. Fairhope is just below Daphne. Spanish Fort is just above Daphne. And that nucleus right there, those three cities are what we call the Eastern Shore. So I don't want to give away the rest of this video, but that gives you a little bit about commuting in Daphne. So Daphne has a really good program so far as schools go. There are 12 public schools in Daphne serving 9,828 students, and there are 4 private schools in Daphne serving 1,533 students. So I pulled some information from publicschoolreview.com, and this ranks public schools. Private schools don't get these type of rankings online because they're private. They don't have to give out their scores. So, but there's other ways you can look at those. But I want to talk about just the major public schools that we have in Daphne, as well as talk about one of the private schools. So here we go. Let's get into it. Daphne East, according to the Public School Review. Oh, in case you're wondering, yes, I am wearing a T-shirt with a coffee pot on it. It says Pothead. Anyway, I told you I like to represent the local people who own businesses. Anyway, so yes, that is a coffee pot. All right. So Daphne East, they get a ranking of 10 out of 10. Daphne Middle School has a ranking of 7 out of 10. Daphne High School has a ranking of 7 out of 10, and W.J. Carroll Intermediate School, which is a public school in Daphne, has a ranking of 9 out of 10. Bayside, and all of them are really good. You know, the Eastern Shore, you're going to have Spanish Fort, Daphne, and Fairhope, and all 3 schools, they tend to bounce around so far as who has the best schools on the Eastern Shore. So Daphne sometimes is at the top, and sometimes it's Fairhope, sometimes it's Spanish Fort. They tend to bounce around. So getting back to Daphne, let's talk about a private school that's actually kind of famous in our area. It's called Bayside Academy. And Bayside is just an outstanding private school in Daphne, and they have, I think it's pre-K, well, kindergarten through 12th grade. But just a fantastic school. And I just read where in 23 and 24, that school year, they won the Blue Ribbon School Award, which is schools that are recognized for their outstanding educational programs. So anyway, if you are moving to Daphne, or you already live here, but you have school-age children, I think you'll find that the schools here are just fine indeed. And so there you go. And if you want to do a little bit more research, you got greatschools.net or org. Anyway, Great Schools is a great website, and this Public School Review. You can do your own research there too, but I just wanted to hit on it just a little bit so you know. All right, on to the next one. So if Daphne is on your radar, you're thinking about moving here, or if you already are familiar with it, you're going to need a place to live. And so that's where I come in. I'm a realtor. I've been a realtor for about 20 years. And I've been licensed in 3 different states, up in Virginia, North Carolina for a little less than half of that time, and then the rest of that time down here. So I got my license down here in around, I came down here in 2012 and got my license shortly after. So 20 years experience, and I love every minute of it. This is what I do, and I just can't imagine doing anything else. But it was the best move ever made, was to come down here in Lower Alabama. And anyway, enough of that. Let's talk about the real estate market just a little bit. Most of this video is going to be hitting on all kinds of different things, so I don't want to spend too much time on this, but you can always, that's what I'm here for, and that's why I'm doing this video, is to not only provide you information about Daphne, Alabama, but also to let you know that I'm here for you when you're ready to buy a house. So let's talk a little bit about the real estate market. I really don't like going into a lot of numbers because, you know, hey, I mean, you might be watching this video and it's 10 years from now, and obviously those numbers are going to be a little bit different. But as of July 2024, there are 210 houses that are on the market. Now, this is just to give you an idea, okay? It's just to give you an idea of what's happening right now and the general idea of the real estate market in Daphne. So I did a quick count, and another reason just to give you an idea of the current market and how it's laid out, there's approximately 13 condo associations in the Daphne real estate market. Okay, so it's Daphne is about 30,000 people right now, population, and so there's not very many condo communities, and those are pretty small, those ones that we do have. On the other hand, we have a large amount of single-family home neighborhoods. We have approximately 95. So that number is probably going to change in the next year or two because we have new subdivisions going up, it seems like all the time. But right now there's approximately 95 neighborhoods, single-family home neighborhoods. So 210 homes for sale. To give you an idea about right now, 50 of those are new construction. So what, about a quarter of the ones that are on the market, and even most of them are probably built within the last 10 years, but most of them, a quarter of them are built within the last year or two. So, all right, the lowest home for sale today is $198,000, and the most expensive home is $3.4 million. So that gives you an idea that there's a very wide margin so far as the homes, the type of home that you can buy here in Daphne. You can find very small homes, and you can find big homes on big water like Mobile Bay in Daphne. So you're going to have all kinds of options. I think there's going to be something for everybody. Right now, the average home price is $479,000. So, but that's the average. All right, so I want to go over just to give you a picture of how things look here. I just picked out of all those almost 100 neighborhoods, I picked out about 4 that are a little different from each other. So if you like golf courses, Daphne has two golf courses, Lake Forest and Timber Creek. Both of them are in neighborhoods. But let's talk about Timber Creek a little bit. Timber Creek is a large neighborhood. I don't know, maybe 600-700 home sites in there. It's actually so big that part of the north part of that neighborhood is actually in Spanish Fort, but I think most of it is in Daphne. Anyway, beautiful homes in there, probably range from $450,000 to over $1 million. Very nice, very well-maintained neighborhood, and it's on a beautiful, beautiful golf course. So you have a neighborhood like that. I mentioned Lake Forest. So let's talk about Lake Forest. Lake Forest actually has the award for the largest neighborhood in the state of Alabama. So unless something's changed in the last couple of years, Lake Forest ranks at the top. Now, to be driving through it, it's a little deceiving because there's a lot of hills and valleys and turns, and it's very wooded, hence the name Lake Forest. But you really wouldn't pick that neighborhood, I don't think. You'd think of a large neighborhood like that has over 3,000 home sites. You would think you're just seeing this big open plain of just house after house, and you really can't see that in Lake Forest. It's really deceiving the way it looks. But there's, I think, 3 or 4 ways to get in and out of the neighborhood. So that helps a lot too. But there's the prices in there are some of the lowest in the city, as a matter of fact, and you can find older homes in there, and you can find some that aren't as older, and you can probably find something in the 200s in there, and maybe over 500,000. So anyway, just a wide range. It's not a cookie cutter neighborhood. There's just all different styles and shapes and sizes in Lake Forest. So I want to jump over to historic Malbus. Historic Malbus is a very unique neighborhood. It's right there by the interstate off of 181, And these homes are very close together on purpose. All of the garages are on the back side, so there's alleyways that go behind the houses, so there's no street facing garages. They're all on the back, and they all face a alleyway. So those are really interesting. And then another, I just picked, there's so many new construction homes and neighborhoods out there. I just picked one, and that's Jubilee Farms. Jubilee Farms opened up probably, I don't know, 3 years ago maybe. And it's a huge neighborhood, and it's not cookie cutter, but it's, I don't know, it's pretty close. They all look very similar. You had a couple different builders in there, and they're still building. It's going to be a very large neighborhood. Not a whole lot of trees, and it's just going to be a lot of places to live. But the great thing, there's a lot of amenities. The pool is fantastic. They have a big, huge 2-story slide, and just a lot of green space and a lot of places to walk. And anyway, just to give you an idea. But if you are in the market, you know what to do. This is what I do for a living. Give me a call, but let's get back to the rest of this video. All right, so on a personal note, I quit drinking about 14 months ago. That's just me. That's my story, and sticking to it. But I love sobriety. But anyway, on that note, I have grown to have a personal relationship with coffee, and so I know just about every place to get great coffee in Baldwin County. And Daphne happens to have 2 of my favorite spots. Now, Daphne, since we're talking about Daphne, you have your other national chains. There's a Dunkin' Donuts. There are 2 Starbucks. It's saying the S word. Anyway, there's as a matter of fact, one of the Starbucks is brand new. This is 2024. It's brand new, right across from Target, almost across the street from Target. And but I just have a thing for supporting the local people. And so we have 2 coffee shops in Daphne alone that personally I just think their coffee's better anyway than the national chains, but I just love the local part of it. They're owned by local people. One of them I know pretty well. I've got to know them. And also, just love the atmosphere. I love the atmosphere of both of these places. The atmosphere is totally different in both of these places from each other, but I love them both. But so here, if you're a coffee lover like I am, then you might appreciate this portion of this very long video. So here's a little taste, here's a little bit information on Summer Moon and Soul Caffeine of Daphne, Alabama. All right, we are very fortunate in Daphne to have so many places that we can go enjoy the outdoors and be outside. And we just have a number of parks here. I believe there's 10 or so parks that Daphne maintains, and then 4 sports complexes. So I'm going to tell you just a little bit about each one of them now, and then you're going to see some clips at the end of this. So right now I am in Mayday Park. As you can see, very picturesque. The bay is behind me. Actually, behind me there is a boardwalk system that leads down all the way down to the where there's a pier. I've actually went fishing on that pier, didn't catch anything, but it was probably me, probably my fault. All right, and then they have bathrooms, playground area, and it's just very scenic. A lot of parking here as well. Belrose Bay access is over by Bayside High School, and that's mainly just a bayfront beach access overlooking Mobile Bay. Centennial Park is great for the kids. Big playground area, gazebo, restrooms. Daphne Central Park, not everybody has this, is an 18-hole disc golf course. So frisbee golf, if you like that. It's also walking trails there. And then there's also Daphne Dog Park. That is very nice. It's got 2 fenced-in areas for small and large dogs. And then there's another boat launch. Here's a very famous, one of the things that Daphne is known for is the Gator Boardwalk. So right where the I-10 Bayway comes into Daphne, underneath that, you're going to find there's a boardwalk system there, and there's a natural habitat of alligators. So chances are you're going to see one in the summertime. You probably see more than one. I've seen a bunch there. So there you go. All right, let's get into the sports complexes. So Daphne maintains 4 large sports complexes in the city, and these are pretty impressive. So I'm going to read off some of these and give you some of the characteristics of each one. And then, of course, you're going to see more clips of them as well. So probably the most well-known is the largest is the Al Trione Sports Complex. Get a load of this. There's 4 baseball/softball fields, 4 soccer fields, 4 football/soccer fields, 3 restrooms, 3 concession stands, a large outdoor fitness court, which is pretty cool. And this is where that dog park is that I mentioned earlier. The Daphne Sports Complex is fairly new, actually, in the last few years, and this has 10 baseball, softball fields, restrooms, concession stands, playgrounds. This also has a very large playground area for the kids, and also a very nice splash pad. So a lot of this was just done, I think the splash pad and playground was just done last year, and this is 2024 right now. Okay, Lott Park is really neat, folks, okay, because in recent, maybe in the last year or so, they have added a pickleball and tennis court complex to Lott Park. So it's just this large area that has basketball courts. It even has 4 bocce ball courts, or whatever they're called, bocce ball courts. But then they have this really nice pickleball and tennis court place at Lott Park. I've never played pickleball, but it's something that you see and you think, I might want to try that. And then there's the Ruff Wilson Sports Field. Never been there, but I know it's off of Johnson Road. It's just a big multi-purpose sports field. So there you have it. That's the rundown on the sports complexes in Daphne. There is so much to do here in Daphne and the surrounding area. And at this point, we've already talked about parks and all the things you can do with all the parks that we have. I mean, what is it like? Total of about 14 different parks, sports complexes. So with that, you got fishing, with the piers along Mobile Bay. You have hiking and biking and all kinds of trails that you can go on and just open green space. So we got all that. We've talked about that. But there's a ton of other things too that I want to mention, that there's things to do, especially with families, with kids. There's a lot to do with kids, but just as an adults too. So I'm kind of mixing in gyms. I did a video like this for Fairhope, and I separated health and fitness out, but I'm just including gyms, okay, in fitness, kind of in this category of things to do in Daphne. There's about 20 gyms or so approximately in Daphne, and I'm just going to talk a little bit about these things things to do in Daphne, but at the end I'm just going to do my little collage of different things that you can do around town so you can get a visual on it. But I do want to talk about one particular gym. I've been to it, actually I've been a member of it, sad to say, several different times. Because I would go and then I would stop after a couple months, and then I'd feel guilty, and then I would go back and rejoin it and then go for a few months. Anyway, long story. Anyway, this particular gym is the Bounds, B-O-U-N-D''S, I think, Bounds YMCA. In my opinion, the big gym goer that I am, but seriously, my opinion, this gym is probably the best gym, and they're not paying me to say this, but it's probably the best gym in the whole area, the whole county, so far as I'm concerned. It's huge. It's got an indoor pool, it's got an outdoor pool, a ton of equipment, a ton of free weights. I could go on and on about it. So anyway, if you're into fitness, there's yoga studios in Daphne, lots of gyms, there's lots of personal trainers. Branching out from there, we have a massage envy in Daphne. If you're into massages, I could actually use one myself. Okay, outside of that, let's get into a little bit of culture. Daphne is home to two different museums. One is a pretty nice place. It's the American Sport Art Museum. So this place is pretty awesome. It's huge, and it's right there off of 98 in Daphne. There's also the Daphne Museum, so those who are into history. Daphne definitely does have a lot of history. If you like antiques, if you're an antiquer, we have those shops that you can visit. Let's talk about the kids. Well, before I get to the kids, I want to mention golf. Daphne is home to two golf courses. Timber Creek, which is a very nice golf course, sitting right on the line of Daphne and Spanish Fort. And then we have Lake Forest, which is a very challenging course, public course, and it's a lot of trees, a lot of elevations and hills and sand traps and water and stuff like that. So if you're into golf, we definitely, right here in Daphne, we got two great golf courses. Okay, so let's get into the kids a little bit, what they can do. There's a new place that opened up. It's called We Rock the Spectrum. My girlfriend's going to take her kids to a birthday party there soon. It's an indoor gym. It's a gym for children, small children of all age levels, with sensory equipment that includes zip line and a crash pit and tunnels and trampolines and things like that. So just a very sensory adept place for the kids to go as indoor, and you can have birthday parties there, obviously. So that's really neat, a really neat place that you can take the kids. Believe it or not, we have an indoor skating rink. It's called Hot Wheels. It's right in Daphne. It's right next door to my favorite grocery store of all time, Rouse's. Hot Wheels Skate Center. Let's see. All right. Now there's, again, I've already mentioned a lot, but I have to mention these few places that are actually technically in Spanish Fort, but they are just over the line. Okay, so I mean, there's two shopping centers that are just over the line from Daphne into Spanish Fort. So it's just right there. So it's like a cross the line, go 100 yards, and you have these places. So I just have to mention it, even though technically they're in Spanish Fort. All right, so we have a bowling alley. All right, a great bowling alley that has several pool tables in there, so you don't even have to go play. You don't even have to go bowling. You could just play pool. Great arcade. Great arcade. It's probably the best in the area. That's in the bowling alley. An indoor mini golf that is glow in the dark. Very cool place. Virtual reality. There's a place called Urban Air. It's a trampoline park that's pretty large. It's got a zip thing in there too. And lots of it's a trampoline park, and it's indoor, of course. And it's just so many awesome things to do. So in addition to the parks, in addition to the Gator Alley, which is I mentioned in the park segment, in addition to all that other stuff, there's just a lot to do right here in Daphne. So enjoy this collage. Take a look at what we have to offer. And if you're coming to Daphne to move, you definitely can stay busy. I don't think I'm alone here when I say that I just love food. I just love food. Yeah, I've been a realtor for 20 years, but during that time I had a couple years stint during that time where I had a bucket list, and I actually owned a restaurant. It was a bucket list thing I wanted to do. I owned a restaurant for a couple years, and boy, it was a love-hate relationship. But yeah, I just have a big appreciation for great food and great restaurants. And Daphne has surprisingly a lot more options than what people think. I did just a quick little count, and there are like approximately 65 restaurants just in Daphne. So that's not counting Spanish Fort, which is right above Daphne, and which has a ton of restaurants, and not counting Fairhope, which is just below Daphne, which has a ton of restaurants. So this little area of the Eastern Shore has a ton of places to eat. But just in Daphne, since we're talking about living in Daphne, just about every category you can think of, there are plenty of options. Well, you think about 65 options, but breakfast, we have options. If you like Asian food, we have Japanese, Chinese, and Thai options. I just went to Bangkok, the Bangkok restaurant a couple weeks ago and had Thai there, and it was fantastic. One of the most flavorful dishes that I've ever eaten, hands down. If you like Mexican, we have 3 or 4 different Mexican restaurants just in Daphne. Boudreaux's is right on the Mobile Bay by the interstate. That's a Cajun restaurant. That's really nice, has a great big deck in the back. We have Mediterranean food, 2 different restaurants for Mediterranean food. Italian, have Italian food, pizza places. Mellow Mushroom is over there by Sam's Club. That's a really good place. Just restaurants that cater to seafood. There's actually a Chinese restaurant. It's called Dragon Seafood, and I don't think there's much Chinese influence in it, but they just steam a lot. These crab legs, shrimp, it caters to seafood, hence the name Dragon Seafood. And there's just so many options. And then of course American, we have steakhouses and barbecue places. Moe's Barbecue is real popular, and it just a lot of different places to get food here just in Daphne. And then of course fast food. Now, if you've seen any of my other videos, I like to really promote the local business owner. And I know people who own franchises a lot of those people are local too, but I really like to promote, especially because I owned a restaurant myself. And anyway, this was a long time ago, but I do like to promote the local person, the local business person. But we do have a ton of fast food places, probably about 12, 14. All of the ones that you would think would be here are here. I mean, there's probably 3 or 4 national brand pizza places. You probably know what I'm talking about. Domino's, Papa John's, Marco's. And I know there's another one. We have 3 national brand sub shops. There's a Lenny's. I don't know if Lenny's is local or national franchise or what, but Subway, of course, and Firehouse Subs. I like them, pretty good. But there's just all kinds of opportunities. So anyway, I just took some clips here. Enough of me yakking about it. I took just a few clips just to give you some visuals of some of the restaurants that I like. Here you go. So, if you need to get some shopping done and you're living in Daphne, Daphne does not disappoint. Okay, there's a lot of shopping right in the town of Daphne, so you don't have to go outside of Daphne. So, in Baldwin County, there's probably 4 major shopping centers, and Daphne has one of them. It's called Jubilee Square. And at the end of this, after I rattle on a little bit about some of the stores that we have, just to give people an idea who've never been here, I'm going to show clips of Jubilee Square, which is a very large shopping center, large for us anyway. So, starting with grocery stores, we have 3 major grocery stores right in Daphne. That's Publix. We have a Fresh Market and a Rouse's. Rouse's, if you've never heard of it, it's they're based out of Louisiana. We have 3 in Baldwin County that I can think of, and Rouse's happens to be my favorite grocery store of all. So they just have a great selection. Anyway, but we also have an Aldi, which is a smaller version, but they have like discounted food items, but they have produce, they have meats, and they have all kinds of things, but just a really good selection of food in there. It's a nationwide type of establishment or business, if you've never heard of Aldi before, ALDI. And then we have 2 fresh produce markets. One's called Hazel's Market, and that's right off of 98, right in the middle of going down through Daphne on the main road. And that's seasonal, though. It's not open during the cooler months, I should say. And then we have this great fresh market, mainly produce, but they have other things in refrigerated section. But Allegri is a fantastic market. I love Allegri, and I think they're open all year long. And then we have a spattering of Dollar Generals all over the county and all over Daphne. All right, so anchor stores. There is, right in Daphne, there is a Walmart, a Target, and a Sam's Club. So there's actually some grocery that you can get in all of those. Of course, Walmart is a super Walmart, so that's a full grocery store as well. So Walmart, Target, Sam's Club. There is both a Lowe's and a Home Depot in Daphne. Another anchor store is Hobby Lobby. Hobby Lobby, everybody loves that. And there's a huge Dick's Sporting Goods. So if that is regional, I don't know if that's regional or not, but I know anyway, think of a sporting goods store about the size of Walmart. So it's very large. So that just gives you an idea. There's tons. If you need something, you can probably get it right within the city limits of Daphne. And of course, there's all kinds of little mom and pops and little operations, throughout the city. But I'm going to just end this clip with showing you a little bit about Jubilee Square. There's probably, I want to say 60 or 70 stores. Some big stores, a lot of little stores, but you'll get an idea. So check this out, especially if you like to shop. Thank you so much for taking the time to watch this lengthy video. And this is what I do for a living. I am a realtor, as I've been saying all through it, but this is what I do for a living, folks. And if you are thinking about moving to Daphne, or you live here already and you want to move across town, I'm trying my best to provide the best information and the most information that I possibly can for you for all the cities of our great county in Baldwin County and Lower Alabama. So if you are moving here and you have questions, if I've answered some questions but have also created some more questions, reach out to me. I'm going to give you all my information at the end of this, and I'm here for you and ready to go to work. So give me a ring. And please subscribe. I've got about 350 videos on my YouTube channel now, and it is growing. Probably we'll have over 400 or 500 videos here before the year's out. So if you like seeing videos like this about Lower Alabama, about the real estate market, about restaurants in town, about new stores opening up, or about employment or things like that, and about real estate, give me a ring, but also subscribe. Because I'm going to put out videos and as much information as I can about our wonderful part of the world. So looking forward to hearing from you.